Happy Perihelion Day. Hello, I am Roz King. I'm the author of Netter, Book of Star, a visionary and Afrofuturist version of the hero's journey. I consider myself a spiritual conceptual artist, but in simpler terms, I am simply a modern form of what is called an alchemist or mystic. I would like to introduce the start of my new podcast, the Spiritual Fiction Podcast. My goal is to discuss different forms of spirituality and mythology, from ancient religions up to modern depictions of gods and angels and spirits and what have you in contemporary novels, anime, comics, and pop cultural media. Spirituality and what is called mythology in the ancient context is a field rich with symbolism and philosophy, which can aid us in our personal challenges and our own road to growth and fulfillment. Spirituality is often hidden and misunderstood due to perceived differences in spiritual ideology. But if we look at spirituality as a human expression of a need and longing for deeper meanings and greater connections with nature, we can appreciate the different shades and variations of spirituality throughout the ages without losing our faith in our own unique spiritual beliefs. Just as science fiction allows storytellers to imagine the future and introduce new ideas which could realistically be created, such as flying cars, for instance, spiritual fiction will allow storytellers to reintroduce the past with ancient ideas which have already been tested and validated by entire cultures of peoples in the past. Ideas such as spiritual guides and angels, spiritual assistance from our ancestors, and what dreams are telling us. While exploring the ideas of ancient spirituality, this podcast will primarily be focused on modern and contemporary culture, and I will be analyzing all things spiritual and esoteric and mythical, including superhero movies, sports, politics, and even anime. There's a lot of hints of spirituality all over global pop culture, but because everything is spiritual in some way, this means that the spirit isn't everything in many ways. So, while I will be looking at a lot of different forms of media and a lot of different subjects in order to discuss the spiritual or hidden meanings behind things from my own perspective. My vision is that I will get more and more serious with the production quality of this podcast, and I will eventually have a regular schedule for distributing these podcasts. And most importantly, I envision having many different guests from all walks of life, because I am especially looking to highlight the many different systems and practices of spirituality that are happening today. Now, if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe and contact me with any of your ideas. A little bit more about myself. After graduating from graduate school in New York City, I was looking for the subject matter that I would focus on as a storyteller and performance artist. Through a series of synchronicities, I realized that my passion was ancient spirituality, especially ancient Egypt, also known as Kemet. For more than a decade now, I have been studying the spiritual system of Kemet, its myths, its stories, and its philosophy. And it is my personal conclusion that much of Western culture, even today, can be called the grandchild of Kemet. Many do not know this, but the glory and science of ancient Kemet was only the culmination of tens of thousands of years of indigenous and African research into the principles of nature. No, Kemet, aka ancient Egypt, was not the creation of some ancient aliens high on UFO fumes looking for gold. Nor were the Great Pyramids or the Colossus of Rhodes, for that matter. But instead, Kemet was a testament to what is possible when wisdom can be preserved and passed down from generation to generation across countless millenniums. Even their spiritual system in Kemet was tens of thousands of years old. And more importantly, the marvels of Kemet are a testament to what we humans can achieve when we work together on many different levels and classes, not to achieve endless personal wealth and personal power and capital, but to honor our faith in our spiritual ideals and to achieve the highest potentialities of civilized humanity. As a modern mystic and alchemist, I have decided to recreate the hero's journey or Heru's journey of Kemet. We grandchildren here in Western society of ancient Egypt here in Western society even get the word for spiritual and metaphysical science, alchemy, from Kemet. For Al means the study of, and Chemi is a word for Kemet. Moreover, we also get the word for a champion and savior, and a godlike king, aka a hero, from ancient Kemet. For it was Heru who became Horus, and then Heracles and Hercules to the Greeks, which became the word hero of today. In fact, Heru is the world's oldest superhero and the oldest godlike savior of a spiritual system and mythology. Heru, aka Horus, was a champion and savior figure of ancient Egypt, and his worship predates the worship of all other saviors or enlightened teachers or sons of God, which the West knows today. I will go deeper into the Kemetic hero journey in a future podcast. So to be brief, if you are unfamiliar, Heru was the immaculately conceived son of a god, and his holy mother Isis, aka Aset. And he grew up and battled his evil uncle named Set, aka Satan, in order to avenge his father and bring heaven to earth and to save the souls of Kemet. My Rastarai saga, including Book 1 Netter, is my attempt to bring the system of spiritual wisdom encapsulated in the Heru myth and the philosophy of Netters of ancient Egypt, hopefully in an updated and more accessible way. You can get the audiobook of the first book of the series, Netter, through my website at rastarai.com, RASTARI.com, and also catalyze.net, KATALIZE.net. Please stay tuned for the next book, which I should be publishing in the near future. In closing, let me address my introduction. Today is Perihelion Day, January 4th, 2025. Today, the Earth will reach its closest point to the Sun, an astronomical event called Perihelion. This annual occurrence happens every January. At Perihelion, the Earth will be approximately 147 million kilometers or 91 million miles from the Sun. Now, how long do you think it'll take ancient aliens in their flying cars to do that, I might ask? Seriously though, these types of astronomical events have always been at the center of the spiritual cultures of yesteryears, such as ancient Egypt, aka Kemet. And so I tried to incorporate them into my own personal spirituality, and I expressed this in the mythology of the Rastarai saga and the book series. From a spiritual perspective, Perihelion Day can be interpreted as a time of heightened connection to the sun's energy and a time of intensified solar energy. This could represent a moment of renewal and recharging, of introspection, and potentially a time for spiritual awakening, as it signifies the earth being closest to the source of life and light. This might also bring increased energy and unfocused energy in your personal relationships. So I would caution patience with your friends and family during this time. Paradoxically, the time when the sun is closest to the earth is a time when it is usually the coldest throughout the year in the northern hemisphere. This is a message from nature that this is a time to focus on inner illumination and personal transformation, and to focus on planting the seeds for the external illumination and manifestation that is the springtime. So I encourage you to take in the inner illumination of Perihelion Day and think about the seeds you want to plant today to manifest the things you want in the upcoming year. What will it take for you to become the hero or Heru you need this year, so that you can achieve not just New Year's resolutions, but also achieve what it is you were meant to do? With that, I thank you for hanging out with me. I look forward to future podcasts and having guests and having live call-in shows even. And I look forward to the growth and prosperity of the spiritual fiction genre, the Spiritual Fiction Podcast, and the health, wealth, and prosperity of you and yours. Like the video, subscribe for more, and stay too blessed to be stressed. Godspeed.